Sagittarius, here's the September message for the year 2026. Let's get to this amazing system I have for y'all. You are what's that phrase? You are in for a treat. Let's read the channeled messages I got from the reading I did for you. Sagittarius, for September, it says trust. Trust. Give your trust back to your world and others who show up. Give others a chance to amaze you. Here are the prompts we're going to read on. The 3 questions that are going to help you. These questions are going to help you download this meaning and move through the month smoothly. Sagittarius says, can I let someone show me who they are instead of protecting myself from what they might do? Second prompt says, what if I don't know how the story ends? And where could I allow myself to be pleasantly surprised? The last question, the last prompt says, what would I experience if I let trust be an adventure, not a guarantee? Here we go. Question was, can I let someone show me who they are instead of protecting myself from what they might do? One, detail number one, my bad. I'm drawing 3 cards for the questions, the prompts. So can you let someone show you who they are instead of protecting yourself from what they might do? Yeah, it's like you have to allow them to come to the realization. Easy though. Which means you don't have to worry. Just keep it out of your hands. Yet be aware. They don't see the perspective. This is where being a boss is important. Allowing others to see what you mean and you remaining yourself, because if it's the truth, if it's evident, if it's powerful, helpful, a great solution, it's only going to be evident. So at this point, the question isn't about you protecting yourself from what they might do. It's about trusting yourself so they know, you gotta let them have their tantrum and then let them know I'm legit. I know what I'm doing. You're fighting past their worrisome, strong, obsessive feelings by remaining yourself so strong. They shake out of their little clouded confusion. So this being in reverse speaks to just not feeling connected, not feeling in tune, not feeling. This is important because imagine if you could sit in the feeling of not feeling. That's all practice and cultivation and training is. You're staying in the act of getting better until it becomes only evident you are better. You have increased your skill, your strength, ability. So the answer really was, you're not really protecting yourself from what they might do. You're trusting yourself despite how they react. It's the same thing. So can you do this? It's yes. Can I let someone show me who they are instead of protecting myself from what they might do? That's how you figure out stuff about the relationship. That's how you learn about the relationship. But Six of Wands in reverse, Emperor, Page of Wands in reverse. Yeah, you have to remain through them not seeing, or trust through the realization not being revealed or understood by both people. So yeah, you have to trust through their storms. Trust yourself through their storms. Through their confusion, storms, mistrust. Trust yourself through their storms. Emotional storms. Yeah. And confusion. Trust yourself through their emotional storm and confusion. And your own confusion and emotional storms. You know, I put vice versa. But, well, yeah, just know you may have to trust yourself through your own emotional storm too. I'll put and yourself as well. Next question. What if I don't know how the story ends, and where could I allow myself to be pleasantly surprised? So really like this skill of somehow sitting in the feeling of being disconnected, or just accepting being unsure, accepting letting it be revealed, really. That's really the answer. I mean, you're going to be pleasantly surprised and proud of yourself for trusting the situation rather than throwing a fit and finding out it was actually helping you out, and now you look like a baby. Like a person who can't handle good things coming to you. So, the bottom line, so now this card is about maintaining enthusiasm, maintaining excitement, which is still you trusting. At the bottom, at the end of it, it's a strong belief, strong feeling. You know, strong belief, strong confident. You know. Yes, if you don't know how the story ends, what if you don't know how the story ends? That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. Because no one ever knows how the story ends. And I guess that's what life's testing us is. So, I believe you not knowing how the story ends is because you're looking at how this makes you feel, weighing it up. So what I believe is these two cards coming out is a message not being able to be received, or the path not being able to be moved forward. You know, and this is where remaining steady with Scorpio's message, I believe. But in these times, trusting, and I kept mentioning trusting in disconnection, you're simply trusting while things are forming. And this is where tarot's hard to really follow as an average citizen, because, okay, I have abundance coming in, that's just a paycheck, okay, windfall coming in, yeah, my check comes in 2 weeks, if I'm patient, windfall will come in. But it's so simple, you overlook how powerful keeping it simple is. So then you know in this spread, you'll really be in your head due to life feeling like it isn't turning around, when in fact, you don't know if the conversations are being had. You see, life doesn't tell you the conversations are actually being had. They just aren't in the stage to affect your life yet. So, and that's what a real person, a genius, a player, person who lives life truly can understand. So, yes, you don't have the answer to the answer to the situation. And where could you allow yourself to be pleasantly surprised? It's all an exercise. That's why I like Aquarius's energy more and more now. Because who are you to stop life and go, I'm being tortured, when life's trying to deliver you to the next best thing? That you have to be stretched and trust, to see out, stretched beyond your regular level of trust, which is a small, very weak level of trust in life. Life's just showing us how much we just need to trust life more to see how much life really has our back. So this feeling means you are going to feel like you're not being recognized, you're being left behind, forgotten, played with on purpose or something like that. When in fact, the position to actually start having this work and capitalize off this just isn't there. The conditions aren't there yet, and the most powerful thing to do is remain trusting. The most powerful thing to do. So yes, if you don't know how the story ends, you just keep trusting. Where could you allow yourself to be pleasantly surprised? You'd be surprised. I mean, that's a weird question, but stay committed. You'll stay committed to trusting life. You'll be surprised. I'll write that. Stay committed to trusting life. You'll be surprised. Next question. What would I experience if I let trust be an adventure, not a guarantee? And that's what we're talking about this whole video, this whole spread. That's something I wish I knew. That's something Scorpios gotta learn. Everybody in the world, but hell, even me having a Gemini moon, it was still a hard lesson. So it's only good when it's your turn to win and have a good time. That's the beauty of holding it down through such hard times. Is the good times are coming in. But the real powerful ability is to see all of this as all passing. You should remain the same person. This person I see as the tradesman. He has all his tools. And, I think the real power is just going through the day and you being the constant in the day. You being the thing that remains constant through the changing conditions. And so, yes. If you would let trust be an adventure and not a guarantee, you keep your energy, you keep this sense of yourself, and it would become greater. Because now your awareness is stronger than the conditions. You're now this tradesman. You're the journeyman. Your emotions are the tools that are ready for your use, and you only pull them out when you really need to use them. So actually, you gotta. Isn't it beautiful to learn to keep your emotions out of it, to where you can actually keep them out of it? It's a magical thing I'm showing you. Like, you're utilizing yourself by holding yourself back to see more of yourself that you can withstand through life. Then transforming that into a new self that withstands more with confidence and trust. Not even putting yourself in the situation. You just go through it. The answer would be, you keep your momentum. You'll keep your momentum. What would I experience? Probably more joy. You'll experience the joy of momentum. And I think, Sagittarius, you actually have that. Whoever I meet, any Sag I meet, they at least believe in their lane, despite whatever they went through. They still have belief, hope, trust that their ideas, their ideals, desires are worth still pushing for. So I gotta respect them. The belief in yourself is what's inspiring. And now they say with Sagittarius, all you need is discipline. You'd be pretty powerful. This steady ability, you just need this, and you would, make all your dreams come true. So that's what they say. Now let's get to the Celtic cross. So that's the last thing we'll do before I get off the camera. That was the present energy. This is the challenge. So remember, the whole point of this reading for you this month, detail number 1, is remaining steady, essentially. Detail number 2, detail number 3. That's what it looks like. What's affecting you? How people see you. The reality of it is, though, mentality available. Here's the outcome. Remember, I talked about someone having to learn through having a temper tantrum. You trusting yourself, trusting someone will have the realization while you remain in your routines, in your lane that's been helping you grow. Here's the beauty, because you actually have been putting yourself out there clearly while thinking you haven't. And then what if the answer is just keep doing that? The problem is we're upset about a result, which actually pushes back the result because you're stepping out of the interaction when you pressure the person about some shit, and then you react like it's a consequence of them not doing something. All these actions are so subtle, but you communicate so much mistrust in the connection. So you're giving this person a hint that you're not doing the thing. Alright, well, shit. Conditions, it can really crumble something, because it's like, okay, so you're not participating because you want me to do all the work, and now you're going to act like a baby and show me what happens when what you assume is happening doesn't turn into what you want. This is where the game gets weird, Sag, because timing, it's like, it doesn't mean no, it just meant the conditions just aren't clear enough to make that a smart decision, an enjoyable decision. So yes, this is you dealing with people, or a person dealing with you, just not trusting the system, letting it work out. And so I kept talking about staying steady, because you'll get the information and hold on. That Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, stay committed to trusting life, and you'll be surprised. So it just means either they're having an emotional storm, or they see you as having an emotional storm. Either way, they're just going to stay steady. So, yeah. That's really it. You could be the heavily affected person. You could be the Page of Cups. This could be you actually quickly reacting to what you believe, and the challenge is like this being ruled, you being ruled by this current thing you want. Really reaches your emotions. It's really, but it's a hassle to just see it through to where It's like you're not even, you're talking yourself out of it when it actually was showing proof through you not doing anything. It was working by you doing nothing, but that's how powerful it is. So the fact that you doing nothing creates more connection, literally, means any input, like this is a plant, any input, any, you know, yeah, touching up on the thing, on the plant, right? It's very sensitive. So I guess if both people knew this, and then a person has to fuck with you past you being so sensitive, which, how bad do you want to fuck with somebody, you know? Like, damn, how bad? Think about it. Like, I'm glad you weigh it up. I mean, how bad do I want this experience, you know? Do I really want to deal with the person who acts flip-floppy like that just to smash, or just to do something else? And then here's the beauty of it. The reality of it is, both people could keep it player and just stay steady, and this won't even be acknowledged as a problem, as a future problem to prepare for and worry about. It could just be a bad episode. Who's player enough to just let the day be one bad episode and not react, causing someone else to see, oh, this person's reacting? They got to be player. They got to know to keep it player and let it be their emotional storm and not add to it and also make it a bad episode. So it takes both people to keep it player. One person keeping it player, they just going to play without you. Simple. And this is a player pace, because all this life, I'm still, okay, direct life, all this life, energy, allowing that can still happen, and still so much lightning fast reaction you can do and not do. I know I'm making sense, Sagittarius, trust me. So there are the messages for you, Sagittarius. I know I explained it clearly. So clearly being steady is the answer in all things. Steadiness helps you see yourself. Steadiness is like a crock pot, helps you embrace your trust in yourself more, helping them embrace trust in themselves. The reality of it is, nothing should make you feel upset to where you got to react and make someone know how you feel, because it just means you don't trust it working out. And the last thing you want somebody to know is, I don't think I want this idea we both felt now. And sometimes the game is funny, because it's like, it isn't about not having abilities. It's about trusting the conditions that the abilities you already have will be naturally called for. You know, called for to where it feels right. But that requires to trust in disconnection, not call it too quickly, you know. It's a scary game, you know. I'm glad I got all this out and all this communicated clearly to you. That's really it, you know. Now we got to know when to keep it player when the other side isn't clear in themselves. And then keep it player to hope they figure it out, and then keep it player in ourselves to not give up. Because life will just move us to the right rooms, and all we got to do is keep this pace and keep it player. It's okay. Perfect example, I went to a place to pick up one of my last checks. Came in there like, oh, the checks aren't ready yet, come back in an hour. And I was like, I'll come back in an hour. I came back in 2 hours, got my check, and left. It could have been a whole fiasco. What? I know you got the check. Checks always come out, blah, 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 blah. To get myself out the room, okay, I'll stick to that. I'm gonna keep it player, cause it's coming to me. The money's coming to me anyway. So let me walk out the door. You know, when I was younger, I didn't have this mentality. You know, I believed what. It's unfair. I have to complain for the solution. Dare to be quiet and trust. They'll fix themselves. It'll be regulated. They'll update their operating system. They'll make it right. Life will make them make it right. You know, if they want you bad enough, they'll make it right. You know, if they want the situation bad enough, because what I'm on before I get off this damn camera is about being so true, being so in tune with the day, with their interactions. The person and you and the person don't want to mess up the interaction, because what you're creating, interacting, is so good and so raw and true. You don't want to mess that real co-creating you're doing up. So that's why, I'm learning more and more. Damn, I can't just cut you off. I got to give you a chance to catch up to speed and then be happy I did that. Even me having a Gemini moon, being a Scorpio. A little bit of astrology I read on. It's still a hassle. I'd be detached. Still got to learn to be a little bit more detached, so it's beautiful. Learning to become the best instrument for relationships, for the co-creation, for the great time, But you got to be really serious about having a good time. Isn't it crazy? Being steady is you being serious. Later, Sag, I'm done talking. Enjoy your month of September. Ace your month of September. And yeah, until next time, until next month. Subscribe to the channel for more tailor-made perspectives, cheat codes, alright, for your month, to ace your month. Thank you very much. Later, y'all.